Hello? I'm here to weigh in on Johnny Depp. I'm so proud of him. He's a survivor, and he has spoken out at last about what happened and what did not happen regarding Amber Heard and her abuse allegations. He has said in a recent article, the latest one, that he was falsely accused. And J.K. Rowling knows this because she saw the evidence. And just like I've been saying all along, I am sure that he would show everybody who is hiring him or who is working with him everything that is there, all the evidence, even that which did not go to court or become public. He would have shown everything. Otherwise, why would they use him? Why would J.K. Rowling, who has been such a strong advocate for sufferers of domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence, she had a marriage where she was domestically abused. She survived it, and she has spoken out many times for survivors and for speaking out and for telling the truth and not laying down. So why would she? Why would she have somebody in her movie who was guilty of that kind of thing? She wouldn't. That was a sign in and of itself that nobody who supported Amber Heard even gave a second thought to. They turned on her. They turned on Rowling. They called J.K. Rowling a hypocrite. They said that they lost respect for her. They went after her with so much hostility that she was literally, I imagine, forced to speak out and clarify why she is using Johnny Depp in her movie, even though he was accused of domestic violence. Me Too has to understand. They have to get it and really, really, really make it an imperative factor in their fight against abuse. False allegations are not cool. False allegations are abuse in and of themselves. False allegations cannot be dismissed. They cannot be believed as truth. You cannot simply say believe women, because men are victims too. Men are survivors too. Look at the situation with Asia Argento. People took that seriously. People listened. Rose McGowan, who was right there with Asia when she spoke out against Harvey Weinstein, they were together in the foundation of the Me Too movement. And even Rose McGowan came out and said to Asia, be the person you wish Harvey was. You know? Tell the truth. Get help. Don't be a hypocrite. Nobody can sit there and justify anything remotely like, it can't happen to a man at the hands of a woman. It can't happen to a man like that. I mean, men are stronger than women, right? Women can't do that much damage to men. I saw a picture from a friend of mine, a man she knows who was beaten up by his girlfriend. I saw a picture of him. That was some serious damage she did to his face. A friend of mine, a man, had a long-term relationship with a woman who threw things at him, threw furniture, threw dishes, threw knives at him, hit him, beat him, throughout their entire time together. We're talking years, almost 20 years. The last time they were together, before they got divorced, he was trying to sleep, and she kept beating up on him, beating his back, beating his shoulder, beating his arms, yelling at him about something. Hey, 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 listen to me, wake up. We're not done talking, or something like that. And finally, he just couldn't take it anymore. He lashed out. He hit her, maybe a slap or something, to try to get her away from him. She called the cops. He stayed the night in jail. Or maybe it was 2 nights, I don't know. She ended up dropping the charges, which was a blessing. But that's what a lot of men go through. Men who are accused of violence. Some of them will lash out in self-defense because they have no choice. It is either that or, in some cases, not the one I just shared, but in some cases, to defend themselves against possibly losing their life. I mean, women carry guns. Women can use knives. Women can do a lot of damage. We can't keep harping on this topic because it has been done to death, but still, there are so many people that turn a blind eye. Johnny Depp is speaking out for the first time. And they are still using Amber Heard in their, activism, events, events where people discuss, violence and, she's still considered an activist. She got up on stage and read that letter that she sent to Porter magazine. The letter where she addressed it to her silent sisters about her experience with abuse and all the shame and, and how people didn't believe her. And a lot of people believed her. Too many. Johnny Depp is the one who went through shame and torture as his name was raked through the mud and dragged over the coals for something he did not do. It's become a witch hunt, and it needs to shift. It needs to change. It needs to expand. The Me Too movement needs to continue, but it needs to open up and expand to include false allegations as not cool. Do not falsely accuse anybody. Due process has to be done. You can listen to somebody who comes out with allegations. You don't have to say to them, well, you might be lying. You don't have to say that right away. You shouldn't say that right away. You should give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You should. That is something that we should all do as human beings. If somebody speaks out first and says, okay, he hit me, or she hit me, or she tried to kill me, or he raped me, or whatever. Yeah, sure. At least believe enough to give the benefit of the doubt. But, seriously, guys. Don't just believe them and refuse to listen to the other side. Don't do that. Because it's all about due process. These things have to go to court. These things have to be proven. They are not going to throw out a case anymore in this day and age where a woman alleges violence. They are not going to throw that out if she is telling the truth. They can't. They can't anymore. Police cannot lie about what they see at a scene. The judge cannot just dismiss it and say, oh, she just wants his money. If she is telling the truth, they can't anymore. Nicole Brown Simpson paid the price for such negligence. It has changed since then. It has changed. You've got to believe me. You've got to read about California court, California law. Read it. There's a whole website about it. Read up on it. You cannot, you simply can't. No cop can do that. Nobody can do that. They cannot just simply say, oh, there was nothing. Nothing at all. She was lying. If the cops had come and found all that, wreckage, they would have hauled Johnny Depp right into jail. They would not have come out and lied by saying there was no evidence of a crime. So many people corroborated their statements. The concierge at the condo, when Amber Heard went downstairs the next day to go to that party that she went to on May 22nd, 2016, the concierge complimented Amber, saying she looked amazing. Her complexion was really, really amazing. Actually, wait, back up. I don't think he actually complimented her, or she. I think he wanted to, or she wanted to. I don't remember the gender of the concierge, but they wanted to say something, but they didn't. But they noticed it. They noticed how good she looked, how healthy, how well rested, or whatever it was. They noticed she looked really, that she looked great. She's a beautiful human being, whatever. I mean, on the outside, whatever. Anyway, so they saw no bruises. Johnny Depp's recent article with GQ magazine, he pointed out that behind the thin hank of hair in that picture that they deleted originally from the Instagram post from that party on May 22nd, her eye was not closed. Now, her eye would be closed. If somebody threw something at that eye the night before, that eye would be closed and there would be swelling. But why did she go out? Why would anybody who was that traumatized and that upset, why would they go out? And if they did, why would they have pictures taken? And looking that good. She looked fine. She had a little thin hank of hair over her face. But she was, her face, there was no swelling. There was no bruise. And the bruise, the red marks around her eyes, there was no swelling. They look painted on. You see it up close. Why are people so blind to this fact? You look at it. Why can't people admit, and why can't it just be okay to say it? There are women who lie. There are women who make false allegations, and they have their own motives. It's a terrible thing, but it happens. No, I am not saying we have to take everything with a grain of salt, like we have to just assume all women lie. No, when somebody alleges anything, take it seriously. Listen to them. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Do not simply say, well, Amber Heard lied or somebody else lied, so, they have to be lying too. No. It doesn't have to be that mindset. People are such extremists. They think, if we admit that she lied, everybody will be doubted, even the ones who are telling the truth. Everybody is so afraid. That's what's going on. Don't you understand, people? Anybody who is listening to this, who may still believe Amber Heard, I get many people listening to my videos and, commenting, whatever. That video I made where I broke it all down that Amber Heard made of Johnny Depp swearing and things like that. Johnny Depp addressed that video. That is Johnny Depp. Some people were actually doubting that was Johnny Depp. That is Johnny Depp. That is a genuine article. He came out and said it. That was him. He said that video was old, and he had found out that TMG had shafted him, the management group that I spoke of before, the Mandel brothers, which that lawsuit was thankfully settled. But he was upset about that. That's what he was upset about. And you see, I was right. It had nothing to do with Amber Heard. She comes in and says, what happened? What happened? She sets up a phone, and she's like, I'm just going to use this opportunity. And he might just, start yelling at me. And yeah, and then I'll just say he He was aggressive and he was abusing me. Blah, blah, blah. He didn't even verbally abuse her at all. He was saying, oh, did something happen to you? No, I don't think so. He was defending himself. He was saying, oh, I do not think so. Something happened to you? No. Oh, you want to see crazy? Okay, I'll pour myself a glass of wine and I'm just going to sit back and drink it. There's your crazy. An abuser, you want to see crazy? So slap, beating up somebody. Yeah, don't give me that. I have had it out with way too many people on that one video alone. So I've begun to delete comments from people who say, oh yeah, he's an abuser, he's an aggressor, he's the narcissist. Don't even go there. No. Narcissists, again, will use Me Too to their advantage. Johnny Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, who is helping him with the Sun lawsuit. Johnny Depp is suing the Sun for an article that was written labeling him a wife beater. Adam Waldman came out and said, Amber, like any narcissist, he didn't use the word narcissist, but he said Amber Heard is using the very important Me Too movement to create a platform to spew her lies for her own gain. I don't want to hear about the joint statement anymore, guys. I don't want to hear about her donations to charity, guys. I don't want to fucking hear that anymore. You know why? Because I never actually said that it was all for money. I mean, maybe some of it was. She was used to a very luxurious lifestyle. But she wanted to protect her reputation. Don't you understand that when she first came out, when it first became headline news that she was filing for divorce in 2016, she filed for divorce 3 days after Johnny Depp's mother died. And people were appalled. How could she be so cold as to file for divorce 3 days after his mother died? There were all kinds of articles saying that his family hated her. She was not looking good in that media. So what did she do? On the 27th of May, the very day that Alice Through the Looking Glass premiered, or first came out, in the theaters, she came out with the abuse allegations, and she walked from the courthouse to the car, with all those paparazzi, the little brown bruise and the black dress, looking solemn, whatever. Yeah. That was her performance. That was how she turned everything upside down. All of a sudden, nobody gave a damn about Johnny Depp's grief over his mother. Nobody saw him as a human being anymore. They saw a perpetrator. They did not go see Alice Through the Looking Glass. And May 27th is also Lily Rose Depp's birthday. Johnny's daughter, Johnny's first child. When she was born, he was quoted, and I heard him say it on Charlie Rose, that was when he was born again. He was born anew. That date meant so much to him because it gave him life. Having that child. And then Jack, a couple years later, yeah. And she did it. She did that on that day, Lily Rose's birthday. I mean, and it must have been hell on wheels for Lily Rose and for Jack, that whole family. Don't you guys get it? How can you, any of you who support Amber Heard, I'm talking to you, anybody who supports Amber Heard, anybody who believes Johnny Depp is a monster, anybody who doesn't see Johnny Depp as a survivor of narcissistic abuse, how can any of you still say that? How can any of you just turn a blind eye to false allegations? What do you feel when a person who is on death row and gets killed, gets executed, who is completely innocent? What do you feel? Do you shed a tear for them? And then turn around and still believe Amber Heard? Think about it. Just think long and hard. I'm feeling a lot of empathy right now for Johnny Depp, for his family. I mean, I'm on the outside looking in. I mean, but I'm feeling it. I've been abused in relationships in my past. I've been verbally and emotionally, narcissistically gaslighted in many different friendships. Some family. It's been a journey. I've never been accused of anything at this magnitude, but I've had smear campaigns where people look at me differently. It's awful. Imagine that a million times worse. And you have somebody on death row, which is actually, yes, a million times worse than what Johnny Depp's going through, because the courts at least didn't lock him up. But his kids have to go to, Jack has to go to school, and who knows who could be saying anything about his dad. Lily Rose has to go to work. She's just starting her career. It's not fair. Anybody affiliated with Johnny Depp, it's not fair. J.K. Rowling. She's one of the best authors and best writers of fiction. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not truth, and it's not what Me Too should be about. Me Too is about believing and supporting survivors. Johnny Depp is a survivor. Namaste. We'll talk again. But please keep that in mind, because we have to support survivors, real survivors. And we have to know what narcissism is. We have to understand how global narcissism has confused the Me Too movement and so many other important things on this planet. Keep truth alive, no matter what. Keep it in your heart. Listen. Take it all in. Discern. And keep surviving. Keep taking care of yourself. Namaste.